Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 27 of my Factorio 2.0 guide. In the last episode, we made some batteries, and I had a lot of explaining to do for bots. There will be a lot more explaining to do for bots. And in this episode, I said we were going to make bots in a solar array. We are not going to make a solar array in this episode. We are definitely making bots though. Yes, it is finally time. We need to grab some stuff. We don't need pipes yet, but yeah, it's always better to have stuff on hand. So just grab a couple of things here and there. Chemical plants. Yeah, we could use some more chemical plants. Let's just top that off. Let's see. Did I set up centrifuges? I did. Okay. Let's actually, like, before we get too deep into this, let's update some more of our chests. We could just tell the bots to do this at a later time, but I kind of want to deal with that now. Just so we can get it out of the way. Did I? Okay. This is nuclear reactor. I should be careful and go line by line. We do not have this yet, so I need to alt click. Oh. Whoops. I need to ghost that in. Pipette. And with the heating pipes, pipette, heat exchanger. Steam turbine. Whoops. Okay, so in this episode we are. I don't have any of this stuff unlocked yet. Man. I think I have an idea on how we're gonna deal with the centrifuges, because there's kind of a big problem that I have with the centrifuges, and I'll get into that after we deal with bots. I think I've got everything in here. Okay, so moving along. Yes, that's important. So this is trains. Sorry, train station. This is rails. Rail signal. Rail chain signal. Pump jacks. Again, this is a task, like replacing these is a task that we could have gotten the bots to do. I prefer to do this manually because I don't want to have a situation where I mess up the like placing all of these and setting them up properly is very important. I've had a couple of situations that didn't really play out well in my favor. So one example, I don't know if I've already mentioned this before, but I had one situation where I forgot to connect these, and you don't need very many of these. Obviously I've limited this to 10 with a stack size of 50, and we're only keeping like less than 10 in our inventory. I had a situation once where I accidentally crafted the entire chest full of these because it had no limits on it. And I don't think I've used that many in the entirety of all my Factorio gameplay, so always double check your work. You always want to make sure that you're doing exactly what you need to be doing as far as limiting and stuff like that goes. We do not need any more of these, but we definitely want to have somewhere to place them, because the bots, once they start tearing down a lot of that stuff, we'll need somewhere to place these, and no better place than to put them back where they came from, right? Boilers and stone furnace. A little bit more left. We won't worry about the rocket silos or So, okay, so that's the end of this one. So let's just quickly skim through and make sure that we got rid of all of our steel chests. It looks like we did. Everything's set up. These are all good to go. I don't see any, except for the ones that we don't have ready. We will not be upgrading those, because we don't want the bots to just start tossing stuff in. And that reminds me, what about all the stuff that the bots don't have filters for? So what do we, like, let's say that we told the bots to deconstruct all these trees. Where are they going to put those trees? So most players will have a section probably like this, and I like to have mine. There's two places that you typically might see this from other players. One is near your mall. That's one place that players will typically place these, and the other place is right next to or near your cargo landing pad. So like we could totally have a situation where we had, now let me just copy that. I mean, it never hurts to have too much. We could put that over here. Now these will not have access yet, because they do not have logistics, but somewhere near your cargo landing pad. So this is for like kind of incoming stuff from other planets if you have the DLC. So that's one area that people like to place them, and the other area is by the mall. Okay, so let's get some more. We probably need some more inserters. We don't need longhand. We need some undergrounds. Getting caught in the belt, or getting caught in the... Let's just top that off. Can always use more belts. Splitters, that's fine. We'll just top it off. Okay. I think for now that's everything that we need. Power poles are fine. We don't need to carry as many medium power poles on us now that we have the substations. The substations are fantastic. I love those. We are nearing a point where we could probably keep some train stuff on us. Also, if I wasn't making videos and I didn't have to have, like, really have to have the night vision, I would probably have at least one robo board on me. It's nice to have because you would keep robots on you, and you could then use the personal roboport to have them craft stuff. Later on, it's definitely better, like when you have more storage. So this is a 5x5 grid. You end up getting, let's see, let's just take a look. The best one that we can make in the base game is the Power Armor Mark II. And you can see at the bottom, it has a 10x10 grid, so it's 4 times bigger than the grid that we have now. Lots of room for roboports. Okay, so let's start by setting out our parameters like we typically do. Oh, we do not have... Let's get the... Expand our city block. So once we get some bots, they will start placing things down that are ghosts. It's almost like a work order for robots. Okay, so let's take a look at bots. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at bots. What do we need? So we have 2 different kinds of bots. We have logistics bots, which we explained a little bit, and I'll explain more in this episode as well. So they need flying robot frames and advanced circuits. The construction bots need flying robot frames and green circuits. So red circuits, green circuits both need flying robot frames. What do we need for flying robot frames? We need, oh boy, a whole bunch of stuff. We need steel, batteries, electronic circuits, green circuits, and electric motors. So thankfully we have all of that. Motors are here, batteries are here, green circuits over here, and what else do we say? Steel? Steel is obviously coming in from here. I also love how I did not continue with placing the tags. I did not place tags for anything else. So let's see, how do we... Okay, so first off, we need flying robot frames. So they need 4 items. Let's just assume that we're going to have them coming in here. So we will need a second row of incoming items for the flying robot frames, because they are going to need 4 items. That's 4 different lanes. So let's move this closer. So how many do we need? We probably need a bunch. The bots need 1.5 per second, and we can make a measly 0.03 per second. So we're gonna need a lot of these, but we're not gonna fill it like to a crazy amount. So 0.03 times, I don't know, 20 is 0.6. That's like, it's nothing. But we are gonna make something like 20. I haven't really decided yet. So we'll do 5 at a time. So 5, that's 10, 15, 20. And our measuring stick still leaves us... Oh, why did that not line up? I thought I had... Okay, sorry. We need to move all of these back a little bit. So our bot is going to line up with... five, and I'm gonna... our robots are gonna line up with our roboports. So... Right, not our roboports, our flying robot frames. Control V, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20. Not get 25 in here. I could probably just do something like this. Is that enough room? No. Ugh. Ah. Alright, let's move this back 1 space. And we will have this exporting down. So it's probably not overly important that we like, we don't need to craft the robot frames to scale. We just need to make sure that they are crafting. As they are crafting, you know, we will eventually get what we need, right? Like 0.3 times 25 brings us to 0.75. Wow, so we would need 100 of these to be able to match what our bots need. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Logistics. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we need to figure out. One is, how are we getting all of these materials in? And 2, is there anything else that we can double up on? So, because these need green circuits and this guy needs green circuits, we should probably put the green circuits on this belt, on the inside belt. This just needs red circuits, so he can probably just have, like, let's just put an inserter here. So he can just have red on his own. So we will need to have flying robot frames coming in, and these will need to be out here. And we're going to need 2 sets of things coming in. So let's have 2 2 coming in, and we will need a long hand inserter to get these in as well. And this will need to be at the latest there because we are going to need green circuits for him. Okay. This is kind of how we're going to be set up. So there's a couple of things that we need to know. One, oh, I did not grab more. I need some storage units. I can handcraft 2 of them. Oh, geez, that was fast. Okay, so let's just put these here. So in the last episode, I talked about having things connected via wires, which is kind of like your LAN, and having things connected via the logistics network, which is basically like your Wi-Fi. So we want to not craft endlessly into these chests. We're going to limit this one to construction bots, this one to logistics bots. But we want to not just infinitely craft bots into these chests. So we are going to have our circuit wire connected and say enable if construction bot is less than, let's just do 100. It's a stack of 50. Both of them. And this one, enable if logistics bots are less than 100. So we want to have 100 on hand ready to go. But we also need to add them to the logistics network as needed. So there's a couple of things that you need to know. One, if we were to connect this to logistics network and say connect and then enable if, I don't know, construction bots are less than, let's say like 500. Whoops. What this says is if there are less than 500 construction bots in the logistics network, enable if there are less than 500 construction bots. But what this doesn't account for is how many are active. So this is only going to include what is in storage, so what is in here, and what is in storage here. So these kind of act as storage containers, but they only store up to 350 robots and what is this, 700 repair packs. That was something else I forgot to mention. The robots can repair as long as they have access to repair packs, and they will put repair packs in here as they pick them up and don't use them completely. And that is a specific function to construction bots. Construction bots do the repairing. So this is kind of dangerous because if you were to enable this and you just had constant bots all the time, you would probably endlessly put bots into your network because this is only counting what's in active storage. So we're ignoring this. We are not connecting this guy to the network. But the way we can connect this guy to the network is through the roboports. So if you connect LAN, if you hardwire something to a roboport, you now have access to the entirety of the logistics network and its information through the roboports, because the roboports act as like almost like data centers for all of the storage that is within the area, the coverage area. So we're gonna have some new things that open up when we connect this. We're gonna wait on this. So let's take a look in here. So we have a lot of this weird stuff popping up. So I don't want to. We are going to go into specifics on all of this. So I need this to read robot statistics. So that is going to give us the option to determine different things with different signals. So these signals can be a little bit confusing and there's not a ton of information out there, but because it's hard to remember like which of these are being used, but it's also not that important. And what I mean by that is, so let's take T. We are going to be dealing with T. which is the total construction bots. Now, if you scroll over the RoboPort, over on the right-hand side, you can see that we have 0 out of 0 logistics and 0 out of 0 construction. That is how many robots we have in the network. The left number is how many are in storage, and the right number is how many there are total, including the ones that are flying. So if you look over and you see that you have 0 construction bots and whatever your limit is, that means they are all in active use, and you could consider adding more if you want. It could just be a heavy period, like right when we start. Like, let's say we had 2,000 construction bots. There's so much stuff that they need to be able to place that they are all basically going to be active and just doing tasks. But that doesn't mean that you can't use T for something else. So whenever what do I mean by that? So we can tell these to enable if, construction bots, something. But we have access to a whole range of signals, and we have free use for most of these signals. However, we will be using T in this network, and you don't want to use T in any other network, because the T in this specific situation is going to be referring to the total numbers. Right now, you can see how this says 14R. That's for the roboports in the network. So it will read the statistics on how many construction bots are there are total, how many there are available in the network. So if we had 400 available, but we have 2,000, then this would show up as 400, which are the inactive ones that are like passively waiting in the roboports. I don't know. There's a lot of information here to take in, and I'm trying to get through this pretty fast. But at any point you can stop and rewind. Rewind. Okay. I just showed my age a little bit. You can feel free to scroll back and rewatch any of what I'm saying. So we are reading how many. We are reading these and giving that information to this inserter. So now this inserter, we're going to enable if T is less than whatever amount that we want for the cap on our robots. I usually start out with 500, but I immediately change that. So we're going to actually swap this. We're going to do 2,000 construction bots. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but I've had as many as, I think, 20,000 bots, 20,000 construction bots set up in my networks, and to be honest, that sounds like a lot. And I think I saw a base once where someone had and actively used somewhere between I think it was around 1 million robots. That's insane. I don't think that I would ever have that many in a play, but that's what we're going to do. Enable if the total number of bots in our network is enable if total is less than 2,000. Now there will be situations where you will look down and say, oh, well, like, why do I have 2011? You know what, sometimes extras just get through. It is what it is. This one is for the logistics bot. So if we take a look at this, read robot statistics, we are aiming for logistics bots. We don't need as many of the logistics bots. The construction guys are the ones that do a lot of the, they do a lot of heavy lifting for us. So logistics are, the ones responsible for bringing from an active or passive provider to, say, a requester chest or a buffer chest. They're also the ones that are responsible for bringing us materials and taking materials away from us. So let's enable if, what was that, Z? Enable if Y, this was T. So enable if Y is less than, we're going to start with 500. So that is our limit. We are going to be limiting construction bots to 2,000 and logistics bots to 500. We are 25 minutes in. We need to move this along, and this will end up being a bit of a longer episode. So this one is the easy one. Let's go ahead and grab this, because this is going to be red. Boom, red is done. We need green on the inside here. What'll be the easiest thing to match up with the green circuits? I guess we can do, what if we just did, it's already here, and this is the last area that we need, whatchamacallit, the electric units. So we're gonna need to hop this and go from, I don't know, here to here. So if, we're gonna do some stuff that I don't mind doing and stuff that I don't like doing. So we're probably going to just have these guys feed right into, did that, oh, sorry. So I'm just gonna have them feed right into this. That's gonna make sure that they stay on this side and gives us room for the electric motors to just stay on this side. Okay, so now what do we need? We need batteries and we need steel. Steel, we can probably do the same thing. Ooh, wait a minute. I don't think we're gonna need batteries past this point either, so this is a good, let me just take a look real quick. I can't remember off the top of my head. Batteries, accumulators we will use further back, and they are not used for anything else past this. So let's just hop this for a second, and we will connect them, let's say here with steel. Alright, so let's bring in steel. We're just going to do the same thing that we did with the green. Yep. Yes, so we're going to do like that. Well, I guess we could have pulled this in one closer, but it's fine. Okay, so now we just need to, oops, hit Alt. We just need to get these down the line and start getting these things going. We are going to have some bots soon. It's exciting. Okay, so how are we going to power this? I would like to use the substations. We can probably... Okay, so that should work. We can just repurpose these and drag this all the way up. I love the sound that the substations make, so you probably... I don't know if you can hear that, but they make like a low hum as you get closer. And when you place them, they also make a little bit louder low hum. I don't know. I just enjoy stuff like that. Okay, so it's gonna be input, or input and output. This guy needs this in. They're gonna need these in. This one needs power. We'll just use a... Excuse me. Why are you not giving me... Thank you. That was weird. Whatever. I feel like there used to be a limit on how many connections you could have, but I might be wrong on that. Doesn't matter, you know. can almost infinitely connect them, so just have to manually add them every now and then. We are so close to bots. I love the bots. This is like such a game changer. It's something that a lot of the other games just either don't have or don't utilize properly. Why did... Oh, there's an odd amount. We did 25, not 20. Well, odd man out. Have we started? Look at, there they go, the first robots. They are getting to it. So let's just take a look at the roboports real quick so you can see. We have 7 logistics, 7 out of 7 not being used, and we have 0 out of 18, 19 construction bots. They are getting right to work. Let's see, can I clean up a little bit of this before they get to it? I also want to show you do not need anything here. I think I dragged most of the items. I just want to show you this real quick. So the dark blue ghost means that we have placed a work order. The light blue section like this means the work order has been fulfilled by a bot and it is on its way to complete the task. Maybe not exactly on its way like with the item, but it's like it knows it can get the item whenever it gets there, and it is on the way. So that's this guy right here, and he will just place it. How sick is that? Okay, is there anything else we need to discuss quickly? Let's take a look at our research. So we can add a couple of things. We have rocket fuel. Let's get purple science. We're not gonna do anything with purple science yet. Oh, uranium mining. So I have some issues with mining uranium. Let's just talk about this for a second. So when you mine uranium, you have to have sulfuric acid. I've talked about this a little bit, but we're gonna go into detail on it now. When you mine uranium, for every uranium you mine, you use a sulfuric acid. That means for us as an example, to mine the uranium that is up here. There is uranium up here. For us to mine this uranium, we have to take sulfuric acid all the way over there. But to process the uranium, we need a centrifuge. This will process these the 10 of the uranium into 0.7% into the radioactive uranium-235 and 99.3% of the time into the non-radioactive uranium-238. Fun fact: this is actually what it is in the real world. The vast majority of uranium is not radioactive. So when you hear people talking about like weapons of war, like I don't know, uranium artillery as an example, this is probably what they're talking about, or former 235 uranium that has been depleted and is not as radio. Anyways, the stuff that we get nuclear power from is the uranium-235. But to process this, we need a centrifuge, and to unlock centrifuge, we have to mine uranium. So we have to get sulfuric acid all the way out to the uranium node, mine it, and then we can start making the centrifuge. But they have, like, look at their ingredients. This is not a cheap amount of ingredients. Takes quite a bit of time to get all those ingredients into the machine to craft them, and we need like 10 to start with. and then we have to come all the way back and go all the way back out there, or I don't know. It's just a huge headache. This is the only part of the game that I'm not like, I don't like. So chances are what we will do is we will probably just craft a barrel, put some sulfuric acid into the barrel, and once we go do some stuff out in the world soon, we're going to take that sulfuric acid with us, mine it, and then we can allow the centrifuges to craft. And then once it gets to the point where we need to deal with nuclear energy, we will come back and collect the 10 centrifuges. So that's how that's going to end up playing out. So let's get that going. Ugh, doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. We are also soon going to be dealing with trains. So this increases the braking power. This all reads really weird. So this is the train braking force, and it says trains can slow down faster, allowing them to stay at higher speeds longer. So the less time that they have to start slowing down when they're moving from, say, point A to point B, the faster they can slow down, the faster they can travel, or the faster, the longer they can wait before they start slowing down there. So let's see, in the next episode, let's just go through and see if we can clear out some of this. We're not learning cliff explosives because that's part of the next expansion, the DLC. This gets moved to a different position. Let's talk about these for a second. So we have rocket fuel already, which we will be dealing with soon. And then these are low density structures and processing units. These three together, the rocket fuel, the LDS, and the blue circuits, these are kind of like the building blocks of rockets. So you need them to make rocket silos, and you also need them to make rocket parts. They are the sole ingredients of rocket parts. We access these. I don't remember if they moved where they were accessed before, but we can access them here now. Anyways, moving along. I don't use the defenders at all, or the defenders? Yeah, I don't use the defenders at all, so that is just kind of whatever. But we can just get through some of this. This is the selector combinator, the new one. This is not something that we've had before. I haven't really found, like, I haven't used them that much. You can use them to like have a, I don't know, like an assembler or some kind of production machine change its recipe depending on what you need it to do or need it to create, and then using combinators to kind of, anyways, I don't really use them that much, but you know, we have a slot for them with the below the decider combinator, so if you want to make some, then there you go. Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap up this. Is there anything else that I want to get out of the way? Look at all the bots. It's so awesome just seeing them bringing stuff around, and like, look at, they've already started filling in. Construct 100 machines using bots. Awesome. They've already started filling in. I must have had some the deconstruction stuff, because they are also placing our city block network. So as they go through and have to remove stuff, there you go. This is where they're putting it, somewhere in here. They tend to want to put one thing at a time. So because they've started putting stone in here, they will continue to put stone in here, even though it's not filtered. And they will try, in general, this is part of the, you know, they're both smart and dumb. They will try to keep things separated and have one item per, but at some point they're probably going to run out of space for something. Like, let's say they collected a bunch of wood or stone, and this is completely full. They will say pick another one and start filling that up, but once it gets to the point where they can't do that anymore, like there's no completely empty storage for them to start adding more of that material, they will just start like putting it in with other things, and that's why all of these out here need to be filtered, so that they don't do that. But then they have access to place things back in. Anyways, so we have a couple of things that we are going to be doing in the next couple of episodes, and one of those is we kind of need to deal with our perimeter. We're causing a lot more pollution. We want to get rid of these biters. We want to get rid of anything that might be up here. This is kind of scary. Like, this is a very scary situation. We do not know what's past this. So there could be biters up here absorbing pollution as we speak and preparing to attack our facilities down here. There's also a small section over there. We're gonna have to deal with these soon. Also, look at our power. We are, now that we're using bots, we are going to be getting dangerously close to problems. And once the satisfaction, once the amount that we're consuming goes over the production amount, the inserters and machines stop working at 100% and instead start working at whatever the percentage is that this is going over. So let's say that our satisfaction was 50%, so the production is only meeting 50% of our needs. All of the machines would be moving at 50%, and then that snowballs because that means that the miners over here and here are also moving at 50%. The inserters that are pulling off the machines and into off the belts and into the boilers are also moving at 50% speed. So largely as a result of the miners slowing down, then, you know, we start having a snowballing effect where we just start running, we would just run out of coal because, you know, no power, no production, no production, no power. So we are going to be solving that issue soon as well. I don't know. We'll figure it out in the next episode. We're either gonna do some biter stuff, or we're going to add. Oh, got there first. Or we're gonna build solar panels and accumulators and make a solar array. And I did say back in episode, I might have mentioned it in episode 4. Or oh, okay. You know what? Let's deal with this right now. So we have met the limit on our pipeline extent, and we're gonna start having oil problems if we do not deal with this soon. You know what? Let's just do it right here. Let's see if this gets us. So we need to put a pump down. Okay, so that still did not solve our problems. I don't know why this all of a sudden popped up now. I think maybe it was because of maybe these back here. Oil over there is fine for now. So when this reaches the pipeline extent, you can see we're at 350 out of 320 over on the right hand side. Once it gets past 320, it basically kind of like shuts down the whole line. So we need to make sure, we'll just do this here. And there. All right, so all that is solved. Sweet. Whew, that could have been problematic. Good thing we caught that now and not waited till later. Look at, they're starting to fill in all this stuff on the bus. It's great. Look at all the bots. So one last thing. So we can actually see the bots on the map if we go to the remote view and hit this guy over here, as well as see the logistics network now starting to form around the map. So the yellow bots are construction bots, and they're the only ones active right now. We also have the logistics spots, when they show up on the map, they are white. And anytime any of those bots are coming to you, so okay, we didn't talk about this at all either. If the logistics bots were coming to you, they would be red. So I'm gonna take a lot of this stuff and I'm just gonna trash it. So if I control click without opening up storage, control click will remove everything, shift click will remove one stack at a time. Sure, get rid of, we can keep a lot of this. If we look at the map, you will see the red ones are now coming to us. Again, red is they are coming to us. White means they are at logistics. So they are going to come in like mad. These are the logistics spots, and they are now white. White for logistics, red for logistics coming to you, and yellow for construction. I think there might be a, like if you had robots on you and you had a personal roboport, I think you can see those on the map as a different color as well. I think they, I feel like that they show up as the same color that you have on your character, I think. All right, so let's take a look at our roboport network. So we've created 283 logistics bots. They are all active because they are all trying to remove my inventory. And we have created 332 of the construction bots. Nice. Yeah, we will just continue to let that go. Anyways, we're 47 minutes in, and I still have one last thing that I want to talk about. So this is our personal logistics. So as you see, they are removing stuff from our inventory. They can also add stuff to our inventory, which I kind of touched on a little bit last episode. So we could tell them, hey, I want to always have at least 100 in my inventory. And now you can see that this is just regularly lit up. Usually this means that you have, you're 100% good. So the satisfaction is we have 1058 out of the 1000 requested. If we say that we want 100 fast inserters, you can see that this turns yellow. That, what the yellow indicates is that there are some on the way. So you can see that satisfaction is 68 out of 100. There are 32 on the way, and we can also see the logistic storage. We have to be in the logistic storage. Yay, another achievement. We have to be in the logistic storage area to be able to see the logistic storage, but and let's just show this too. So you can see that I just moved, and this is turning from red to yellow. That means when I'm in this green section, I am not accessible to the logistics bots. I have to be within the orange section. That's another reason why we have such large coverage with our city block. It just ensures that anywhere we are on the map, look at all the bots. It just ensures that anywhere we are on the map, within reason, the logistics bots have access to our inventory. So we don't have to keep as much of some of the things if we have to go far away. But let's just continue on. So fast splitters, we'll do 50. You can also assign names to these. So I could say, whoops, caps lock. I don't know, logistics units. So anything that might appear over here as an example, we'll keep them separate. We'll say anything that moves stuff, and I don't know, like all of this could be considered our logistics units. So we might say, and you can also say, you know what? I don't want any transportation belts at all. Keep them out of my inventory. And set these to 0. At some point, this becomes a non-issue. Like, we do still have some of these on the map over in our starter base. these. But once this is all taken down, then it's literally, ooh, look at, we're almost out of everything. That's great. I can also tell the bots to remove all of this, and they will just come do it as long as it is within their logistics. Let's just Alt D. All of this can go. Wow. We are going to be taking this down soon. Very, very soon. I also held off on a lot of this type of stuff because I was like, you know what, the bots can take care of it later. So we can start to clean up all of that. Anyways, I can deal with that later. So we might say, you know what, we don't want any of these inserters in our inventory. I want to keep, let's say 50 longhand inserters, 100 of these blue ones, say maybe 100 of the green ones. I want 50 of these power poles, 50 of the substations, 50 of the big power poles. I want to keep 100 of these and 100 of the undergrounds. Pumps, oh, I definitely don't want 50. I want to keep like 5. You can see that all of the ones that are like normal looking, they're all fulfilled. I don't want to keep any more than 50 of these, so now it has trashed the stuff that I don't need. Deconstruct 100 objects with the construction robots. Nice. I want to keep 50 of these and 50 of these. So we could also have, like, I don't know, building units. So I want to keep 50 of these. Chemical plants, I want, like, I don't know, 30. I kind of don't want anything else right now. You know, but you get the point. Like, you can do like trains, like set up for trains later. So maybe I want to go build a bunch of trains and I want, say, 1,000. You know, let's just uncheck this because you can have this set up and not actually be fulfilled. So let's say I want to hold off and do trains later, but I want to go ahead and prepare. We'll have, say, 10 of these and, I don't know, 5 of those and 20, 40. Let's say 4 of the liquid. You know, it's kind of like this, right? Need 50 of these and 50 of these. So I have a whole section that's dedicated to trains, and let's just say, I don't know, pump jacks 10. And then you could enable this by checking this, and that activates all of this. You know, just as an example. We got the power poles. We got a lot of the stuff that we have. Oh. Can't forget that. It's nice to have some repair packs in your inventory too. We can add that to building because that's largely repairing stuff that we have rammed into. Anyways, another nice thing is that all of these, they become saved, and you can assign these anywhere that you have the option for making groups like this. I kind of feel like you can do that with, like, let's get that request your chest back in. Oh my gosh, we're almost at an hour. I need to wrap this up. Just one last thing. Let's say request your chest. I can assign like a group to it as well. Anything that I've created. Okay. Let's end that here. In the next episode, we are either going to start prepping to deal with more biters by placing some stuff over in this area, or we are going to do a solar array. I kind of don't... I think we can hold off a little bit on the solar array, but we need a lot more power when we get to nuclear. We're still a bit a ways from the nuclear, so don't get too excited. Starting in episode 30 though, we are going to... Okay, so when we build a solar array, we are going to go to sandbox mode, and starting in episode 30 through... we're either going to have 4 or 5 episodes for trains. We're going to spend 100% of our time in sandbox mode. So episodes 30 through 34, we will not be playing in this world at all. We will be in sandbox mode. That's just for making things easier. And I can... do I really want to show you now? So if we had a situation where... I want to get away from the bots. If we had a situation where we were trying to come up with blueprints for trains... No, I do want to be kind of close by. I'm sorry, I know this is a very long episode. So they're going to try to fulfill this, and if you have, say, the train, normally if you were to try to place a train track, it would show you how the train would line up on the rails, but it doesn't do that in ghost form. It only does that when these are actually placed. Oh, come on. You guys coming? There's one. There's a couple more on the way. There they are. Once they get over here, I will show you that. Come on, let's go. But this is really one of the largest reasons why we create rail blueprints in sandbox. So you can see that it shows the train alignment. It shows the 4 and the 1. The 1 in the back that's yellow indicates the end of the train if it was a 1x4 train. But we will get into a lot of that in a later episode, in episode 30, and that's why we... I don't know why I'm removing this. Bots could have done it. We'll just trash that. That is why we build them in sandbox. Once we build them in sandbox, there's usually very little else we need to do. Anyways, this video is almost an hour long. I apologize. I will try to keep them a lot shorter than this, but lots to talk about. Anyways, on that note, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.